Hey, I'm Mikey.
This is Gerard. We're from My Chemical Romance, and we're doing Saturday Night Online.
Yeah, we're gonna answer some of the questions that you guys have sent in for us.
All right,
Let's see.
start.
All right, question 1 from Jessica from Roanoke, Virginia. When did you know you wanted to be musicians? I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a musician. I think I was maybe like 8 years old. I remember you bought the Iron Maiden album Live After Death.
Yeah.
And that kind of I think that was the spark where I was like excited about being in a band and playing live. And I think later on there was other bands, the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana.
Yeah, I think I was right about then too. Like with that album Live After Death by Iron Maiden, it was like we would just listen to it over and over, and yeah, I think it was that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Danielle from Toledo, Ohio. What do you write most of your music about? Let's see. Well, a lot of it is about personal experiences, but usually they're kind of covered in some kind of veil of fiction. And that's kind of, it's all usually pretty real stuff, or it's stories. Some of the people you meet on the road and people throughout your life. So,
we're always just telling stories. All right, question 3. Allison from Detroit, Michigan. How would you describe your sound? Do you feel you fit under a genre? I don't personally think that we fit under. Well, actually, I would say we're rock and roll.
Yeah.
I would call us rock and roll. Some people would dispute it, and those people are wrong.
I don't mind the term alternative rock.
Yeah, alternative is
not a bad one.
Yeah,
I mean, we like all different kinds of music, and when we formed a band, we didn't want to be one kind of band. I think that would have cheapened it. So we really threw everything we could have wanted in there into the music.
Yeah, it's like a melting pot of everything we love.
Ashley from Omaha, Nebraska wants to know who were some of your favorite artists growing up. Obviously, we mentioned Iron Maiden, The Smiths, The Cure, Blur, Pulp.
Yeah, let me think here.
Misfits were a really big band for us.
Morrissey, Smashing Pumpkins, Radiohead.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Drawing a blank. Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, Michael Jackson, Prince, stuff like that.
And then it's bands like No Effects too, like bands that we could go see in the city and hop on a train and go see a great punk show. So lots of stuff like that. Okay.
Maybe question 5.
Mm-hmm.
Katie from Philadelphia wants to know, what is your songwriting process?
Songwriting process is it feels like, I don't know, somebody brings an idea in and then we all work on it together, and then stuff really gets fleshed out in the recording process, and that's when we really discover sounds and interesting things like that. So that's really when something gets finished and when we really explore a song, and when we write more, lyrics change at that point. Usually there's placeholder lyrics that just kind of make sounds. Sometimes those lyrics end up being real ones if there are real lyrics there, and then but we all do it together. Yeah,
I always I describe it as like the pile of wood and someone throws a match at it, and then everyone starts throwing matches at it, and then it's fire. Okay, what are we? Number 6. Jamie from Evansville, Indiana. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not playing music?
Let's see.
Favorite thing to do. I like to read, and I like to paint, and I like to let's see, what else do I do? I like to take walks.
Yeah. I like to draw. I like to read as well. Obviously, like to hang out with Bandit and Lindsay, and
hang out with family.
We just kind of all hang out together. Not much time to play. You like to play video games too?
I like video games.
That kind of stuff. Ariana from Birmingham, Alabama. If you could collaborate with any artist dead or alive, who would it be? I've always picked either Morrissey or David Bowie.
Yeah, those are the two that we constantly bring up with wanting to collaborate with. Okay, number 8, Tracy from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Have you ever met anyone who made you feel starstruck? Let me think here.
I think the first time I met Grant Morrison was really.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, we met him in Scotland, and we were very intimidated.
Yeah, that was we've met a lot of really, crazy people over the years, but that was our really famous people, and he was the one that really got us kind of nervous. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Dana from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Over the years, how have you changed as a band?
Well, I mean, I think ultimately we've changed more as individuals, and that obviously, um, leads your music to change, especially if you embrace it. You don't ignore the fact that you have changed as people. We definitely gotten a lot of experience on the road. We've gotten wiser. We've been through really great stuff, really hard stuff, and that all, it all really lends itself to your music if you let it. And I feel like we write music more now of fans of just music, period, as opposed to fans of just rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just constantly evolving and taking a left turn where people expect us to take a right turn, and sometimes we don't even expect the change that happens in our music.
See, Kelly from Lebanon, New Hampshire. What's the best way for you to connect with your fans?
Live shows, right?
Shows.
Yeah, live shows is the best way. I mean, some people say social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can take that with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
I think, the best way to probably connect with the fans is to be, them in front of you playing music.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly the most real way that you're going to connect with us. Like, that is what we're best at, like performing, like playing a live show, like being a band. There's all kinds of other ways, but the best way is like to see us live. So let's see.
11. Worst high school memories. I mean, my best high school memory was when I graduated, didn't have to go back.
Yeah, honestly,
I didn't have a good time in high school.
I'll agree with that one.
Yeah,
we didn't have a great time in high school.
The kids weren't nice. The teachers weren't nice. But yeah, that I'd say that's the best. Worst high school memories.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. Both.
Okay, Christina from Orlando, Florida. What are some of your musical guilty pleasures? I kind of stopped considering anything a guilty pleasure anymore.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
If you really like music, you shouldn't be ashamed of what kind of music you like. So that's the answer for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Laura from Scranton, Pennsylvania. What was the hardest part about first recording in a studio?
Ooh, it was. Yeah, I remember. The hardest part for me personally was I didn't quite know how to play bass yet when we started as a band, and I was kind of like, I mean, maybe I was playing bass for maybe a couple months, like 3 or 4 months, and
I guess none of us really knew what we were doing.
Yeah, so we were just kind of just going for it, and luckily, we all had these hidden talents that we didn't know that we didn't know existed. So it was a lot easier for us than we thought it was going to be. I think.
Taylor from Bloomington, Illinois. Who inspired you to become entertainers? I just think, obviously our grandma, being very like musical person, very artistic person, and then the musicians we grew up with, like people like Glenn Danzig, Bruce Dickinson, Freddie Mercury,
Morrissey,
those people. Lauren from Wilmington, North Carolina. Is Party Poison's jacket influenced by Akira? Yes, it is. I'm a big fan of Katsuhiro Tomo's Akira, and it was a big influence on the look of this record. So
they're making it into a movie now.
Yeah, an American version of film. We'll have to see what that's going to be like.
Okay, Nikki from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What is the most memorable concert you've ever been to? I'd say the most memorable concert I went to was that one we went to in Madison Square Garden with the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Because it was super. It was just super impactful on me, and it was another piece of the puzzle in my head where I realized I wanted to be in a band and I wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, that was the moment too.
Yeah.
That was definitely. I remember Mikey turning to me during that show and saying, this is what I want to do, and I think I'd say something like, all right, the most memorable concert. Dana from Salt Lake City, Utah. What's your favorite part about being a musician? I like to think of music as something that you always get better at. You're always chasing kind of like that perfect song or that amazing song. And I think that that's my favorite part, is chasing